correction, lighting, and camera movement. How do we use it? And how do we get our image to look cinematic with what we have? Find out today. Now for most of these shots, I was going for an intense dramatic look since that was the aesthetic for our trailer, which you can see right here. But depending on what you shot and what you're going for, try to shoot your scene depending on what the theme or the style of your movie is. If it's comedy, you want very bright tones. If it's a horror movie, you want really dark tones. If it's a dramatic film, you want somewhere in the middle. But whatever you're shooting or whatever your theme is of that film, keep in mind of the aesthetic. Shot this shot right here, I was using my 55mm wide lens and was using only 2 lights, one of which was our main light hitting the right side of Emma's face, and the other which was a lamp on the left side of the background. And although this wasn't adding much light to our scene overall, it definitely added more depth and detail. And as for the backlight, we used this window behind our talent, and my ISO was at a low of 100, aperture was at 2.2, and my shutter was at 40. First thing we're going to do is add lumetri color. And once added, you want to go to Input, LUT, and based on your camera you shot on, you want to select a preset that works best with your footage. So I want my image to be very flat, so it's easier to add a color grade. So I'm going to select Canon SD UEX SL profile. And although I wasn't shooting on Canon 7D, it still works with my footage. Okay, so once you have that done, you want to go back to Effects and select RGB curves. And scroll down. Since I was going for a dark look, I'm going to bring the master down quite a bit, and maybe up just a tad on the bottom. You basically just want to play around with this, the reds and blues, till you get a color you're happy with. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to lumetri color and add more saturation. So about 145% should be good. And as for my color wheel, I'm going to have my shadows down a bit. Alright, so next thing I'm going to do, and this is optional, but I love lens flares. So the next part I'm going to do is I'm going to add my lens flares. Although I do have optical flares, I want to do this the easiest and affordable way possible. So even though I had optical flares, I would just go to Photos, Lens Flares off Google, and key them to be in my scene. Okay guys, that's the end of this video. I hope this video helped, and I will be posting a part 2 sometime next week. But before I end this video, I want to say there is no limits to what you can do with a camera. You don't need to follow exactly what I'm saying or what your favorite director says about shooting a scene. Have fun with the camera. Maybe have some shots where you break the 180 rule, or maybe have some shots where they're overexposed, or even insanely shaky. But keep in mind why you're doing what you're doing. Be inventive and try to work with whatever you have. And all that matters is what works for you. What makes your film stand out? And as always, thanks for watching.